Hello und herzlich willkommen at Life Speyer and our friend Arndt.
Hello.
Today the Life Center is closed. New Wave is going to install two smaller things, we will see later. And today we get a very VIP tour from Arndt to the empty Life Speyer.
Empty with visitors, not with fishes.
Let's go.
Okay.
You know, we're in the ocean tunnel, so every Life Center have its own ocean tunnel. Maybe before we start, Arndt will give us a few facts about the center. How old are you? How old is the center?
I'm 52, I'm married, I have 2 children. No, the Sea Life Center in Speyer is built in 2003. Means we are actually 20 years old. Therefore, we have to do a lot of
anniversary.
We have to do a lot of work actually because the building is a little bit older with saltwater, and I'm working here since 2005, since 18 years now.
Wow. This Life Center started with only with cold water and domestic.
This was the story
fishes,
in Germany in the past. Normally, in the entry area and the first tanks in the exhibition is normally from the freshwater area, what's around the sea life. Here in Speyer, it's the River Rhine, or in other centers you have, for example, the Liner or the Lake Constance or something like this. And after this, after the freshwater area, comes cold water with the Baltic Sea, North Sea, and North Atlantic. 2007 was the idea to build some tropical tanks too here in this area, and therefore we rebuilt our big ocean tank with 330,000 liters to a tropical tank.
There's also another specialty about this center, Arndt will show us. I think that you are the driving force about this, and let's have a look.
Okay, here you see one of my aquarists. This is Fabian. He's feeding actually one of the freshwater tanks with rods, Rotaugen. They are alive here in the River Rhine around. Some smaller animals here inside. Here are fishes like the Nase and the barbel. That's a fish here from the River Rhine, typical.
It's a kind of a blueprint of Life Center all over the world, that they are mostly 90% they're using acrylic only. It's for safety reason. That means most of them are three-sided supported, curved or whatever, so they have an open top. That's why are that thick. Yeah, we're doing a lot of refurbish work for the Life Center, like polishing work, and I have spent a lot of night hours in this center already by polishing acrylic windows.
Yeah, because it's good for us, because we have a lot of scratches there inside. We are cleaning every day the windows with a magnetic, and when there are some small stones or something like between, then you have the scratches inside.
But for you it's not the problem, because it can be polished, and after that you don't see any scratches anymore.
The most difficult thing is while doing these jobs while the center is open, so that when we have a lot of visitors here, it's not in our favor and not in the favor of the guys from Sea Life. So that's why we are doing, even if it's closed, if they're closing down the whole apartment like this, or we are doing it in the night shift. So after the opening hours.
Yeah, here in this area you see a little bit about our conservation things, what we are doing. We are doing different things with animals from Germany, but some animals from over the world. But I like to show the animals what are living here around. Here in this tank is built from Florian Schuran, from the company New Wave. Here inside is a fire salamander, salamander. And here is one of these animals. These animals are wild caught directly here from the Pfälzerwald. I don't know in English. The forest here around. And because these animals have the problem in the wild, they will extinct here because they have a pandemic like we human have here in the past. And they have a fungus, and if this fungus is on the skin of the salamanders, they will die. And we will breed them here. We check them half time a year about this fungus. It's possible for us with a vet to look on this fungus, and if they are clean and we have babies of them, then we will bring them back in the wild in the future, in some years. Here in this area you see another tank from the company New Wave, built in, I think, 2 years ago. 2 years ago.
These were the first two.
The first two,
and then we built the other one,
This is a tank with Amis orbicularis. It's a European pond turtle. This is a turtle what's extinct in Germany or nearly extinct, and we are breeding them here since 2008. We grow them up about 3 or 4 years, and then we are bringing them back in the wild. We're doing it on the 18th of June this year, and in summertime too.
Yeah.
And we did it, actually we have around in the wild 250 of these animals are back.
Nice, yeah. You tag them and then you can see.
Yeah, they are tagged. The bigger ones are tagged. And then it's possible with the scanner to see what
Nice.
the animal is. Yeah. Okay, now we are leaving the freshwater area, and now we have the North Sea, Baltic Sea,
yeah.
and the North Atlantic, and a little bit Mediterranean. Here are the Mediterranean moray eel.
Oh, here.
Yeah. Here.
Toby, did you see this? Big moranas. They are from the Mediterranean?
Yeah.
Wow.
Morena helena.
Yeah, fascinating animals.
This tank is around 18 degrees. Okay. And here's my best aquarist inside. This is Stan. He's working all the time. No time sick. No, it's every time happy. And I like him very much. This is,
Do not talk too much.
Another big benefit of acrylic comparing to glass is that, especially for cold water tanks, so if you're running a tank like 15, 18 degrees and having, let's say 22, 25 in a visitor room, a lot of people breathing, that you don't have any condensate on the surface.
Okay, this is our North Sea tank with rays and North Sea sharks. For example, here are catfish and dogfish inside. This tank is the only one tank in our exhibition what's a glass tank. And we want, for the future, to rebuild it to an acrylic tank.
What was the reason why you're using glass? Because Hanover is using more or less the same touch pool design.
Yeah, one of the oldest centers.
With a shaped form which is very nice. This is also cold water. This is Atlantic, I guess?
Yeah. Catfish, we have some rays. Then we have here from the Mediterranean, we have groupers inside. And so sea bass and some wrestles.
There's eagle ray, right?
Yeah, eagle ray, yeah.
I remember when we did the polishing work and seeing Dirk sitting inside. I will look for a picture. I will look for a picture and you can show it. It's funny. Look, it's like a fish eye view. This was really the most difficult tank to polish because it's way deeper than you imagine and it was so slippery and it's a big surface.
This tank around 12,000 liters.
So you wouldn't imagine.
Yeah.
No, never.
This was in the past planned as a jellyfish tank, like a cylinderless jellyfish, but it never worked very well. Therefore, we did it with fishes inside, but we have to rebuild this tank, and I plan to do this together with Florian in the future with
I
the wave.
think there's a double layer bottom so that the inlet and the outlet is from the bottom, so that it's normally the idea while keeping jellyfish in a cylinder tank. So maybe we need to adjust it a bit to make it a bit more easy to maintain. You see this beautiful Antia? It's a Mediterranean Antia. So they are way bigger than the regular or the normal tropic Antias. This is a female, I guess.
Yeah.
So now we are in the ocean tunnel. So every Sea Life Center have its own ocean tunnel. What we see a lot of scratches, but this is normal after 20 years of use. We just polished the tunnel in Hanover. Whenever they are planning to drain the tank and refurbish, then I think we have to, I would suggest to restore it also the sealing work, so silicone, because it's 20 years. It's more than normal that a tank like this looking like, because it's very hard to clean. I think you are going dive into it to clean the windows. So, and for this I think it's looking cool.
Okay, now actually the tunnel is a little bit with gravel and stone, something like this here. Filled, because actually we are not cleaning, we are closed actually for the customers. We have to rebuild a lot of things. But you see here inside we have some big sharks inside, we have big brasses, and a sea turtle is here inside.
So this is actually the tank where Arndt mentioned before. It was built in 2015. This is called the Coral City.
Yeah.
How many liters is it?
10,000.
10.
Oh, 11 with the reservoir.
Yeah. So we are going to show the filter equipment later on, the life support system.
Yeah.
And maybe we just have a walk around. It was stocked with 100% of breeded corals, right?
Yes.
From Jürgen Wendel, the coral breeder from Pfalz.
And I'm very happy to say we have all Pfälzer Korallen. All corals from the Pfalz.
From
this
winery,
area here.
From a winery area. So
winery,
no more grapes.
Yeah.
No more grapes anymore.
Okay, this is the biggest tank in our exhibition. This is an ocean tank. It's 330,000 liters. We rebuilt it to a tropical tank in 2007. And here inside the main species are some big tropical groupers, black tip reef sharks, nurse
many?
sharks, 3 of them, 1 male, 2 female. We had babies here inside. They are very alive, the babies, and they are now in Sea Life in Oberhausen in a nursery. They have a lot of animals there inside. And here on the left side is our green turtle, Marty. He's swimming actual to the incoming water. He likes it very much. This tank is 5 meters deep. We are diving here normally 1 time a week.
That's the tank where the tunnel is.
Where the tunnel is,
so
yeah.
the tunnel is just about down below.
Yeah.
How thick is the acrylic here?
6 centimeters. Not so big.
Yeah, but it's like also it's about the shaping. If it would be a flat panel, it would be way more. So I think it would be 80. But now I would say we have a water level of 2 meters. With this span opening, I would guess it to 80 if it would be just a flat panel. But to the curve shape, you can use a way thinner material.
Genau. Rechts.
See all quarantine tanks.
And here are some turtles for the releasing program. They are chipped now. They have chips here in the left side of the leg.
Our team already arrived, Dean and Dirk. They are going to install the wave maker, custom-made wave maker. We will show you later downstairs at the entry tank, and they are going to do a bit of maintenance and service work on the big skimmer. So what we are doing right here in the entrance tank, we are replacing the old reservoir. It's kind of a wave maker. So the idea behind it gets filled up with water, and due to the be-leveled front, it's get an overweight on the front, and it's only held by this electromagnet. And once the electrical circuit is switched on, the magnet release this reservoir and it will flush over in the front. So that's what we have tested, and it should work, but we will see. So this is the old one, that's the new one. So with saltwater resistant materials like glass ceramic bearings, made from polyethylene, only plastics, and comparing to the old one, it's made of steel, which is not
that good in salt
not that good.
water.
Yeah, the clients or the visitors will just, while they're pushing the bottom, they are switch on the electricity circuit, and after that, once it's switched on, the magnet release the power, and the reservoir will fall over at the front. The entrance tank made with a lot of artificial rockwork theming, acrylic front. It's also cold water, and the reservoir will hide it behind the rocks, and the water will come out over there, and it's flush it's like a wave maker. So once you push the bottom, it will release. I hope that we will be able to test it, because we need an electrician to install it, because we're not allowed to do it. But yeah, I'm excited to see it running.
So what do you think? Is this also possible in private tanks?
Yeah, sure, why not? The system will be the same. It's a cool gimmick. I think for private tanks, depending on what you really want to show. If you have maybe a paludarium or something, like an open tank like this, also in freshwater, it's of course possible. And it's not that rocket science once you know how it works.
But it's loud.
It's loud, yeah. Always when the water will release, it sounds like a wave, water splash. So now we are at the backstage life support system for the big Coral City tank we built back in the days with Schuran in 2015. We have a lot of Abyss pumps over here, and Alex will guide you through the life support system and will explain a bit about his pumps, which are running since 8 years without any
more or less without any issue.
Yeah.
No larger issues. I mean, you need to clean the pumps, obviously, as with any technical things, but the noise you hear, by the way, are the security valves on the pump. So this is actually what's really wearing out. So just because of the speed that the water is moving through the check valve, the valve just wears out, and then at some point it just won't close anymore, and then it starts making this noise. So I'm just saying this is not the pump noise that you're hearing.
But it's not that loud, we have to say that.
It's not that loud. I mean, we can still talk, but it's, you know, it's an annoying sound that keeps us from maybe hearing a problem with the pump. Maybe, you never know. The idea was that we have for this fairly large tank, we are not using these usually used giant pumps that we see in many public aquariums normally, but they chose to go with the BIS pumps and then just have multiple of those. So we have a row of pumps, 4 of them, I think it's 4 driving the skimmer, right?
4 for the skimmer, yeah. Actually,
4, yeah, right. 400s are driving the skimmer that normally would run on 2 pumps with 1.5 kilowatts each. So that means we're driving the skimmer with approximately half the energy that the skimmer was made for in the first place. So that really makes sense. Possible because if you use multiple pumps, you usually have a higher efficiency. So if you're using one pump at the end of its pressure rating, the efficiency already goes down. If you use the pump in its pressure optimum, then you can at least save 30%. Well, with 4 pumps, obviously, that works very easy, and it's normally super silent, so we wouldn't be able to hear anything. Jürgen is using the same pump. We might hit him up for another video later on, so check that out on our channel. But in general, this is basically silent compared to other public aquariums. So 4 pumps are driving the skimmer, and then we have 2 return pumps to the main display. And they also drive some, additional systems like UV, heat transfer, and all those additional devices. But just 2 of the 8 200s actually are doing the return. The tank volume is, do you know that, Florian?
10 cubic.
10 cubic meters.
Yeah.
So these pumps are not running at full speed, but it's enough to keep the whole tank alive, even with 1 pump, if one is in service or needs to be cleaned. As said, these pumps have been in service now for 8 years. I mean, Sea Life is obviously very happy with them, so they kept on buying more for different projects. Yeah, so this is basically the life support system behind the whole tank.
Thank you very much for watching, and make sure to subscribe our channel, follow us for more public aquaria, hobby aquarium content. And if you have questions and if you want to see different content, just let me know, let us know, write it down in the comments. Make sure to share our channel.